Good morning, everyone. Melissa Boher Jacobson here, and today is day 3 of our countdown to 25 ways, 25 tips to help you minimize stress and maximize your phenomenal coping skills. My name is Melissa Boher Jacobson. I'm the founder and owner of Confident Life Coaching and Hypnotherapy, and I am in my 22nd year of coaching people in exactly that, having phenomenal lives, overcoming unwanted issues so that they can have the life that they want. They can have life looking just the way they want it to with phenomenal coping skills. Because we all know that stress is part of our lives. And some people seem to manage stress very, very well. And it's possible for everyone to manage stress very, very well and to have phenomenal coping skills. And that's what this series, this countdown of 25 tips to help you manage stress and have phenomenal coping skills is all about. So if you can see me, if you're watching, you can see me and hear me. Say hi in the chat. Let me know that you can see and hear me. If you're watching me live on Facebook this morning, good morning. Yesterday, by the way, and before I forget, if you're watching me on YouTube, I have a fantastic channel. It is chock full of trainings and tips that are all free. They're all designed to help you, your family, your workers, your staff, your boss, have phenomenal coping skills and to manage stress so that you can be happier and more productive and get unstuck and overcome any unwanted issues so that you can be productive and live life to the fullest. And I am available for anyone that would like to overcome an unwanted issue. We have group programs, we have individual coaching, we even will come to your business and teach your staff ways to be more productive and to overcome stress so that you have fewer sick days and more productivity and more happy employees. And you can find out about that very easily by setting up a meeting with me at www.meetwithmelissa.me. That's a free consult, and you will always walk away with some kind of customized, fantastic tip that's going to help you that very day. So make sure that you sign up for that, and make sure that if you haven't done so already, that you subscribe to this channel and hit the bell, and that way you'll be notified every time I go live like this, or every time I post a new video that's going to help you. So in yesterday's video, we talked about the fact that there's a connection between your mind and your body and stress. And we talked also about how stress does not come from the circumstances. Now, we do have a default operating system that when there is a stressful circumstance, that default operating kicks in. It's called our fight, flight, or freeze operating system. It's a very, very primitive part of our brain. It does kick in, but it triggers thoughts, default thoughts in our brain. And we have the ability to override those thoughts. And it's very important that we do that so that when we have a challenging situation or an adverse situation, which we have many of right now, we need to be equipped. We can't just get paralyzed. We can't just go into freeze mode, because then we won't be able to overcome that challenging circumstance. So we need to train ourselves to understand that challenging circumstances, adverse situations, we can manage those much better if we know how to manage the stress. And the way that we do that is by managing our thoughts about the circumstance. Why? Because when we have a challenging situation, we have a negative thought or a fear-based thought, we shut down. We basically, our cognitive function, our brain shuts down, and we are not equipped to ride through to the other side of that crisis. to the growth on the other end. We're just shut down, and we are not going to be as likely to survive that situation if we are in a freeze state or a panic state. We want to avoid that. So we need to learn exactly what is the language that we need to use to talk to ourselves. What is the, I should have called this live stream, Watch Your Language, because the thoughts that we have are the conversations that we have with our subconscious mind. And those thoughts become the commands, the demands, and the instructions that we give our minds. So it's very, very important that we know how to talk to our mind to get the results that we want. So if we're faced with a challenging situation, we don't want to have a thought of don't do something, or I can't, or what if. We want to avoid those things altogether. I can't, don't do something, because let's take the example of don't be scared, okay? When you use that language, your mind cannot hear the don't, and it will only hear be scared. So if you tell yourself, don't be scared, the result will be you will be scared. So what you need to say is, I am calm. I can handle this. I got this. Those are all things that your mind, those are the words and pictures are the most important thing, because your mind responds to the words and the pictures that you give it. So when faced with a stressful or adverse situation, you say, I got this. I can handle it. I can handle it. I'm calm. I got this. I trust myself to know what to do and say. It's going to come to me. The solution is coming to me. I trust myself to know what to do and say. And when you do that, your mind is going to obey you. Your mind is always going to respond to the words and pictures that you give it. One of the things that I often say to my clients is to get them to understand this concept. If I say to you, don't think of a pink elephant, what happens? You can say in the chat what happens. Probably what you're going to say is, I'm thinking of a pink elephant. You told me not to, and all I can do is think of a pink elephant. And that's an example of, we can't tell ourselves not to do something. We can't tell ourselves not to be anxious. We can't tell ourselves not to worry. That doesn't work. Because our mind hears worry and be anxious and be scared. So we have to learn how to language things in a way that the mind gets a picture of what we actually want, not what we don't want. I am calm. I got this. I trust myself. These are examples of the kind of language that we need to use to stimulate a different chemical. Yesterday we talked about how when we have stressful or fear-based thoughts, or negative, I should say negative, not stressful. When we have negative thoughts or we have fear-based thoughts, we stimulate the hormone cortisol, which clogs up our cognitive function. When we can change the thoughts, when we change the language of the thoughts, we stimulate a different hormone. We stimulate a hormone called serotonin. We stimulate a hormone called oxytocin. Those chemicals, if you will, those hormones, which are human-created chemicals, they stimulate clarity. They make the brain work really well. Now, adrenaline is something that is triggered with a stressful situation as well. Adrenaline is designed to make you think more clearly, but part of adrenaline is a hormone called cortisol. So we need to kind of override the cortisol with other hormones that are going to keep our mind thinking clearly and functioning. So when faced with a difficult circumstance, we will have an automated fight, flight, or freeze response, but we can override that cortisol response that tends to clog up our brain and make us freeze or panic. We can override that. We must override that. We must train ourselves to do so by thinking in language that gives a positive, clear picture to our brain. As I mentioned before, some examples of that. I can handle it. I got this. I'm calm. I'm breathing easily. This is a challenge. It's a game. I can do this. I can overcome this. And when you have those kind of thoughts, you stimulate blood and oxygen to the prefrontal cortex, and it makes your brain start to really kick in and kick on and start to really work for you. We definitely want our brains working for us, not against us in these stressful situations and these stressful times. And if we can all learn to start responding that way, it's going to go a very long way to starting to begin this process of minimizing stress. This is a form of phenomenal coping skills. When we understand how we need to language our thoughts and how we need to create the words and the pictures for our minds that are going to keep us in calm, rational, phenomenal, awake, alert, our cognitive function going strong, optimal brain function is what we're talking about here. So that's our tip 3. Tomorrow I'll be back with a new tip to help you manage stress and have phenomenal coping skills. So make sure, if you haven't already done so, make sure that you do subscribe to my channel so you will be alerted every time I drop a new video in this series and any other video in this channel. Everything on this channel is designed to give you and your family, your staff, phenomenal coping skills and live the life that you want. So for now, I'm going to say goodbye. Again, this is Melissa Boher Jacobson, Confident Life Coaching and Hypnotherapy. I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.